Hey guys, today I want to talk about when families get too nosy. Today I want to talk about this one in particular thing that happened to an expat, and I want to kind of dig into it a little bit deeper. Is one of the guys just recently told me that he caught one of his relatives going through his trash. I guess they were searching for paperwork or going through his paperwork. And when you see something like that, that's a big red flag that you have to make a decision whether to leave the girl that you're with. And sometimes it's not the girl; it's just the family. The family is trying to dig into information to try to find out everything they can about you. Sometimes the girl just doesn't want to even be with the family. And in this particular case, I'm not sure where the girl stood about her family, But we had another case here, and we talked about this one before. Is that the guy, his girlfriend's father, come over to the house and wanted money, or he wasn't going to leave, and the girlfriend wanted no part with that family at all. She didn't want to deal with that family at all. She had left when she was younger because of this same exact reason, that she knew that they were bad. And they were going to sit it out and try to get some money off the guy, hoping to get some money off the guy. And the guy was throwing out some amounts and stuff like that. And the expat said, no. They finally left, and that was the end of that. And I'm sure they might be back again in the future. Who knows if they ever find out where he lives and try to do the same thing to him, but they might be a little bit more dug in next time. And you have to be careful when people do stuff like this to you, because if they're willing to do that, they're willing to extort money from you. And that happens over here too. That happens during a lot of breakups over here. It happens during a lot of divorces. They extort you. They try to set you up. They lie about things that you did, what have you. Be extra careful when you're going through stuff like that and have witnesses around. It pays to have witnesses. Maybe you need to have a protection order, things like that. Whatever you need to do to keep yourself safe, keep yourself safe. Make sure there's people around. Have your phone running when you're walking by these people, what have you. Make sure that everybody, around you tries to keep you safe when they see this person around you, what have you, so there's no problems, because people will set you up over here. They will. It happens. And also be careful of the red flags. When you see these red flags going up around with a family, you're out with somebody's family and they start asking you for money, they start asking you about how much you make for your retirement. And if they'll try to figure out, they'll put all the pieces together. If you get 4 or 5 retirements, there might be small retirements, Social Security, maybe a municipal pension, maybe VA money, maybe retirement money, and maybe money from some sort of company or something you worked for, whatever, and maybe even a 403b. I know people over here that have 6 retirements, and after a while, if you keep telling them little by little each thing, they piece it all together and they do all that. So that's something you don't give out. You don't give out that information to anybody. Just keep it to yourself. You don't need to tell your girlfriend unless you're married to her. You don't need to be, and that's a big rookie mistake. I've made the mistake, and other people have made the mistake. You don't tell anybody, even if you've lived with them for years. Just don't tell them that information. Don't give them that information about how much you make, how much, anything. And after a while, they'll kind of notice some things. They'll pick up on some of it, I'm sure, or they'll hear you talking to somebody or whatever. Be really careful. You have to be realistic around here and think about everything that you say. Geez, should I say this here? Nah, I'm not going to say that, because somebody might mention it to somebody else, and it kind of passes down through the line after a while, and then it gets back, or they'll be sitting in on a conversation. The people that you don't want to hear it will sit in on a conversation. And I only tell people that I can trust, business of mine that I know that I can trust fully. And even then, you should be very careful, because if you ever become enemies with these people, they'll throw your information around like it's, public knowledge. Oh, he makes this much, he makes that much. I have people out there, vloggers, and they're just basically garbage vloggers that try to throw around how much I make, and they have no clue what I make. They don't have any idea. Because even on here, I've been very careful about, telling people how much I make and what I do and stuff like that. And most of those amounts that I have mentioned are just, all over the place. Roughly, I've told people how much I make in total, so I could help people with their budgets and stuff like that. But I don't tell where it comes from, how it comes into me, or anything like that. I'm very, very careful with stuff like that. And you should be careful about that too, especially with a girl that you're with. You know, be extra careful. You don't want to get extorted. You don't want to get blackmailed. You don't want, and make sure you document things. You know, like if you think you made a mistake, document when that mistake was made. So if it comes back to haunt you later on, you know when that person got that information or whatever. Have a logbook around or something like that. You know, also with girls, sometimes you start seeing red flags. Document those red flags, because that could be like a precursor to something bigger happening. Write it in a log or something like that. Sounds crazy, you have to live like that over here, but even in the United States, somewhat, you have to kind of live like that. You know, when you're going through a relationship and it breaks up or whatever, you want to make sure you play it safe, because some of these people, they come back to try to get you. They try to burn you on the way out the door. And we all know that. But back in the United States and in the Philippines, and the game gets a little bit harder over here, they play hard, you know, and they're willing to lie. They're willing to do whatever they need to do. Be extra careful. I see it with all the expats around here. I can't tell this enough to you guys out there, because I talked about this a little while ago, and I want to talk about it again because it's becoming so prevalent over here with a lot of people. And I'm not telling people not to come over here. You know, a lot of relationships do work out of here, but a lot of them don't work out of here. You know, it's a lot of people take their girlfriends or wives back to the United States, and that's when it really starts going bad. You know, but over here, it tends to work out better. But if it doesn't work out, that's when you got to start being careful. Okay, because if you were with a girl for a long time, she may want to try to burn you to get you back or whatever. Do you really want that? Do you really want to deal with that? Make sure you're in the beginning that you're happy with the girl and she doesn't seem like the type of girl that would burn you. Because if it's a girl from a tough area, or she's a tough girl, she comes across as tough, she probably is tough. And when you go to leave her, she's going to burn you. Okay, so find somebody that has a nice personality, decent, comes from a kind family, friendly. They're not getting into your business. They're not trying to burn you, or they're not going to try to set you up. And a lot of families are very nice in the beginning, but later on you start seeing the flip side, you know, and that's when you got to be careful. And I'm not talking about any individuals around here per se. I'm just saying that, you know, out there, that this is the way it is over here in the Philippines. And it's this way in the United States. It's this way in other countries too. It's this way in Thailand. Some of the girls will burn you. I've been burned in the United States. And I'm sure I'll get burned over here again. Who knows? You know, you never know. You just got to be super, super careful. I just can't stress it enough, because I see so many guys come over here. Actually, we had one guy over here who was with a girl for a short time. I think it was like about 9 months or something. He broke up with the girl. He started making all the mistakes right away, at throwing money at the girl, and then he started getting burned. Almost immediately started getting burned. You know, and it's that common. It's that common. Now, luckily, he walked away from it, because everybody was telling the girl, leave him alone, just, you know, move on, let it go. She finally did let it go. And we see this with other people too. We actually have a couple of people going through this right now, divorces, things like that. Be extra careful. I can't stress it enough. You know, and I hate seeing you guys go through this over here. It's stress on us, and it's stress on you too. And it's very, very stressful. You know, be extra careful, extra careful doing this. When you're dating, eyes wide open, not eyes shut. You know, eyes wide open, because, you know, that's when you're going to see the red flags going up when you first start dating people. If you see there's a problem in the family, if you see problematic individuals in that family, run. Because usually it's probably passed down to a lot of the other family members in the family. Not always, but a lot of times it is. God bless, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and be careful out there.